Hello everyone, welcome back. So this time we're going to do an example from our previous work with or, not, and. And then we're going to jump straight into how we use these in Python. Okay, so what we want to do here is we're going to use our newfound logical prowess to make a code that prints true if the number is less than low or more than high. So I have a number. I want it to print true if it's less than low or more than high. So print. And then I just combine those together. So less than low, so number less than low, or number more than high. And I'm done. It's that simple. It is literally just written like a sentence. Number less than low or number more than high. If either one of those is true, it'll print out true. And since it is more than high, it prints out true. It works. So learning how to write these things is important. It's not all that difficult. It takes a little bit of practice just to get used to it. Okay, now that we've seen these things, let's put them into our codes because printing true and false is cool, but is it all that helpful? Not really. So the way we do this in Python is through if statements. We ask, well, if this question I'm asking you is true, I'm going to do something. If it's not, I won't do that. It's like, you're going to the store and you're like, well, if they have eggs, I'll get 6. If they don't have eggs, you don't buy eggs. There are no eggs to buy. So you only do that action if there are eggs, if this question you were asking was true. And so how do we start an if statement? Well, we start it with the word if. Just think about like for loops. They start with for. If statements start with an if. And it's always saying, if this is true, I'm going to do what's inside of this if statement. If this is false, I'm not going to. Okay. So right here in this first little code, you see I've got 4 characters. Brewster, Dilbert, Garfield, and Blondie. And 4 personing characters, so I'm looping over them. I'm going through Brewster, Dilbert, Garfield, and Blondie. And they say, hi, I'm, and they put their name. So hi, I'm Brewster. Hi, I'm Dilbert. Hi, I'm Garfield. Hi, I'm Blondie. However, if the person's Garfield, they also will say, I hate Mondays. But only Garfield will say that. So if I run it, hi, I'm Brewster. Hi, I'm Dilbert. Hi, I'm Garfield. I hate Mondays. Hi, I'm Blondie. So this code only worked when we were talking about Garfield. Otherwise, it didn't run. That's the power of if statements right there. And that might not seem like much. That was just kind of a silly example. But it is important. Let's try another one here. And for fun, I used a program, or I'll use a little function called input that will take a user input. So it'll actually ask you for a number. If we look at this right here, if the number is more than 10, it'll say that is too big. If its number is less than or equal to 1, it'll say that is too small. But if it is less than 10 and more than 1, it will say thank you for your cooperation. Once again, this is just showing how if statements work. So if I run this, it says, enter a number between 1 and 10, then hit enter. I'm going to hit 9 and hit enter. Thank you for your cooperation. So it did what I told it to do. If I run it again, and this time I type in 0 and run it. Oh, it is running its Jupyter Notebook. It gets kind of stuck sometimes. If I leave it long enough, it will eventually pop out. I don't want to actually have to wait for that though. So let's go forward. I'll talk about how to build your own if statement. It will eventually print out if I let it run. Oh well, that happened to me earlier. So how does an if statement work? Well, to build an if statement, you start with the word if, and then you have some condition. If that condition is true, you print something out, you do something. If that condition is false, you don't do that something. Just like with for loops, the way you tell what's inside of your if statement is through indentation. If it's indented, it's inside of the if condition. If it stops being indented, it's now outside of it. So all this condition right here is going to be some sort of logical condition, but like we did earlier, where like number is more than 10, student is named Sally, whatever. It can be anything you want it to. So let's try it out right here on this last one. So this fix the if statement below so that the condition checks to see if the game is called Portal. Okay, so we're going to be looping through for game and games. Got a list called games. It's going to go with The Last of Us, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, Crisis, and then Portal. One after the other. And so it's going to go through each of those, and it's going to check if game Portal. Now here is probably where error is. If I run this, and I think it's stuck because of the previous thing. I'm going to actually have to restart. There we go. And there it goes. So it runs, and you can see that it says invalid syntax. Now the reason for invalid syntax is that game is not true or false. Like you can put a variable here, but it has to be equal to either true or false. And Portal is also not true or false. So it's like there is no condition here. None of this is true, none of this is false. That's because I forgot my little operator in the middle. I'm supposed to put an equal sign there, right? Because if the game is equal to Portal, then I'm going to print the cake as a lie. Now, luckily for you, Python caught that mistake because it's not an equal sign, it's an equal sign. That's asking a question. Two equal signs ask a question. One equal sign says that variable is now equal to Portal. Whatever it was before, I don't care. It's now Portal. In some codes, it would not catch that, and this would always be true. Luckily, Python catches that mistake. So run it again. The cake is a lie! Now, you can't actually tell which game is printing that. So let's add a little bit to our code and say print game right before it so we can see that only Portal will print the cake is a lie. Last of Us, Uncharted 4: Thief's End, Crisis, Portal, the cake is a lie. So you see it works. So be very careful with your conditions. There are ways you can make conditions that are always true if you're not careful, and you can mess things up. But Python is a great programming language, and that will catch some common mistakes. So with that, we're going to stop here, and we'll do some more examples next time of using if statements. Hope this helped you, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.